everyone. Come on in because I'm on Love is Blind. I'm on this Love is Blind. I'm up to episode number 5. I'm on episode number 5. I'm almost caught up with everybody. After this, I only got 2 more, and I will be neck to neck with everyone else. But you know what, y'all? First, I was going to try to watch 5 and 6 together and then come back. But I thought I had to come back right on 5 because I want you guys to know exactly what I'm thinking. Because I might be wrong. But I didn't want to go to 6. And then, because I want you guys really know what I'm thinking right now, because I think it's an unpopular point of view. I'm thinking that I'm not agreeing with the narrative that I think is playing out in front of me. I'm not agreeing with it. A lot of scenarios, my own mind didn't agree with it. Like, for instance, this whole thing with Uche and Aaliyah right now. So I'm on the part where this episode is where, she's gone. It's after she's gone. Aaliyah left. And now they call Aaliyah on the phone. And Uche is talking to her. First of all, I want to say that when Izzy came back into the room and told the guys that Aaliyah had left, did y'all see, or do you remember, because I know it's been so long ago for some of y'all, do y'all remember Milton holding back his laugh? Did y'all remember Milton covering his mouth and almost laughing at Uche? And he tried to act like he felt bad for Uche, but he really didn't. Did y'all catch that with Milton? I'm going to put a little pin in that because that's going to come into my play about Milton and Lydia later on. But it sparked something in me about Milton that I had seen, but I kind of didn't pay attention to. But this episode, I paid much more attention to it. But anyway, let me get back on Uche and Aaliyah. So anyway, what I think, my opinion is unpopular with Uche and Aaliyah is it sounds like the narrative that's trying to be spent on the show is that Aaliyah's a flake, that Aaliyah is rude, Aaliyah should have given notice that she was going to leave. Aaliyah should have stood up and, had the decency to tell Uche that she was leaving. And this is also the whole narrative that Uche was sitting up here yelling over. First of all, every time Uche talks, he talks to you, he talks down to you. He's condescending. I just really don't like the way he talks to Aaliyah. And Aaliyah really can't handle him. He's able to really twist her up in these little words in mind, and she doesn't know how to wiggle out of them. He knows he's good with words. He's an attorney. You could tell that. He definitely is skilled with his words, and he knows how to twist stories around to trip you up, to actually admit things that you really shouldn't even be admitting to, or that you shouldn't feel bad about. Like, he sat on here and said, based upon what happened, and she said, well, I had a conversation with Aaliyah. I had a conversation with Lydia. And he starts talking about, you left over a woman. No. I didn't leave over just a woman. I left over a crazy, and as a lot of you called her, diabolical woman that preyed upon me. I came to a show to find love. Instead, a crazy, diabolical woman latched onto me, made me think that she was truly a friend. She was truly an ally. And all along, all she was doing was befriending me so that she could get intel on a man she still has feelings for. And the man that she still has feelings for is the man that I fell in love with. And that man also lied to me. And now this man is telling me that because I couldn't handle it, because I wasn't some strong black woman, and I couldn't just stand up there and take it, and I felt my knees buckled, and I had to get away and run away and get myself together without talking to anyone, because in that moment I needed to care for myself and really not care as much about other people, because those other people weren't caring about me. That's right, I did run away to care for myself, because at that time I didn't feel like you guys were caring for me. But now all of a sudden I'm the bad person. Now all of a sudden I deserve the chastising for my so-called irresponsible behavior. So my behavior of walking away and not calling anyone is worse than the behavior of Lydia and Uche. And Uche has the nerve to sit up here like he's on some freaking high horse, like he's the mighty one. He's the one that should be admired, that he's the victim. And I should be looking out for his feelings more than I should be looking out for my feelings, when all along he has never looked out for my feelings. And even right now, he's gaslighting me to pretend like my feelings are invalid. Good Lord, I guess I have the unpopular opinion, because I would have done just like Lydia. Those people, Lydia and Uche, they don't deserve no answer from Aaliyah until she's ready to give one. That's what I said. That's what I said. When someone abuses you, you don't have to say goodbye to your abuser. Good Lord, what I'm supposed to do? Leave you a Hallmark card after I feel you the one that wronged me? No. That's not what happens, Uche. Why do you deserve all this? You didn't give that same type of treatment to Aaliyah. We saw it the first time when Aaliyah talked about, how she cheated on the boyfriend. And now we see it here. And now Aaliyah's up here apologizing to him. And really what he should have been doing was, when he felt that she felt weak, when he felt that she didn't stand in the gap like he wanted to, what he should have been saying was, you know what? I'm sorry that I put you in this position, that you are broke down like this. That's what he should have been saying. Instead of complaining about the way she reacted, maybe he needs to apologize for being the one that put you there. Why is it the victim's job to apologize for the way she's reacting to the victimizer? And you know what? I guess I have an unpopular opinion, because it sounds like they're trying to spin this, that Aaliyah is irresponsible, Aaliyah is flaky, Aaliyah is this. And then you know what? Shoot, Aaliyah said the same thing I said. She said, how do you know this woman didn't plan this and saw some email and joined the show? I said the same thing in my last review. So let me tell you, if I was there with Uche, when she said that to Uche, I said, wow, she sound like me. I would have said the same thing. And you know what this man said? He says, are you effing kidding me? Did you just ask me that? I would have said, first of all, you need to lower your voice. And first of all, you need to change your tone. Okay, because I don't deserve any thought in my head of trying to understand how this happened. Doesn't deserve a comment from you like, are you effing kidding me? Because that's what I should be saying to you. Are you effing kidding me? Not you saying that to me. Oh my gosh. Uche better be glad he's with this woman, Aaliyah, this horrible. I'm not falling for none of this, whatever. And then Uche has the nerve to get up and walk away and says, you thought about yourself and not for me, and I don't want to see her and I don't want to talk to her. So now you're going around and you're taking the same stance she did when she left. So the very thing you just chastised her for, walking away, not wanting to talk about it, you're doing it right now. All of a sudden now you the victim, Uche. I guess I got an unpopular opinion, because I'm Team Aaliyah right now. I'm Team Aaliyah. I'm team for the person who was wronged to do what they need to do to take care of themselves. Yep, that's who I'm team for. I'm team that when you victimize a person, you can't come back and decide how they handle the way you victimize them. All you can do is sit back, be empathetic, sympathetic, apologize, and help them get through the moment. What you cannot be doing is attacking them, because Aaliyah didn't come out here forcefully. She wasn't aggressive. She wasn't assertive. She wasn't yelling and screaming. She didn't do a lot of things a lot of women could have done. What she did was she went over in a corner and she cried and rolled up in a ball and tried to heal herself. He should be happy that's the way she tried to heal herself, because a lot of women would have gone the F off on Uche. He would have got cussed the F out. But he wouldn't be with no woman like that. He needs to be with a woman that he can run over, like he can run over Aaliyah. And Aaliyah would get her emotions all twisted up. The next thing you know, she's bowing down to his emotions. Aaliyah's not going to fight for her own emotions and fight for him to understand her too. And Aaliyah's acquiescing to his emotions. Now all of a sudden Aaliyah's apologizing to him. Get out of here. And now I'm going to move over to my next, I may not be popular opinion. This is going to be the opinion between Milton and Crazy Lydia. Y'all know I don't like no Crazy Lydia. Crazy Lydia. But the one thing when I be looking at these dating shows, I always think about, it's not necessarily are these people good people or bad people. I always try to say, are they good for each other, right? Because everybody's not made for everybody, but are they good for each other? And I'm going to tell you something about Milton and Lydia. Unpopular opinion. They actually work. They actually work. And if they do go bad, if they don't make it, the reason they're not going to make it is because Lydia is not going to recognize that Milton actually is the type of guy she needs. Because Lydia is bona fide crazy. And Lydia keeps walking around talking about she wants someone to accept her for who she is. Milton is the guy that will do that. Milton is the nerd. Milton is the nerd who is around a crazy hot girl, right? Who's Lydia. And she makes his nerdiness cool. He has catapulted from being a nerdy geologist, 6'7" nerdy geologist, to now being the nerd with the cool hot chick. That's what he's going to be elevated to in this marriage. He's going to be next to the cool hot chick. Even if she is crazy, people are going to look at him and say, wow, he's the cool hot chick. She's going to bring fun into his life. He's not going to have to do all these. And she can match his nerdiness with the geology. It really is a perfect combination, y'all. And Lydia can be crazy. But this is where if it goes bad, where it's going to go bad. And what Lydia is going to want is Lydia is not going to only want to be able to be herself. That's what she says the most important thing is. But Lydia said her type of guy typically is the Izzy type. The way he looks. But here's the problem. The Izzies and the Lydias together are explosive. They're explosive. Bombs go off when those two type of people get together. Just like probably Lizzie with Uche. Can you guys, I'm not Lizzie, Lydia with Uche. Can y'all imagine with how it would have been with Uche and Lydia? Way too explosive. Way too much fire in the room. What you need is you need a calmer Milton with a fiery Lydia. That way, when you saw them interacting, when you saw Lydia trying to boss around Milton, when you saw Lydia trying to take control of Milton, Milton held his ground with her. His no was a no. He stuck with it. He wasn't mean. He wasn't like a Uche, but his no was a no. His no was a no. Milton is strong enough that Lydia can't run over him. And when I go back to the way he was laughing at Uche, the reason I noticed that is because what that said is Milton's got a little deviant in him. He comes off as this nice, nerdy guy, but he's not all that, which is actually what he's going to need with Lydia. Because if he didn't have that, then Lydia could run over him. But Milton has a part of him that stands up for himself. Milton has a part of him that stands on his own convictions. Milton stands up to people, and Lydia needs a man that's going to stand up to her because she would run all over him. But she also needs a man that's going to accept her for who she is. That's what she said. And that is a Milton, because Milton gets a lot out of the deal. Milton's going to be willing to accept Lydia because he gets a lot out of the deal. But here's the thing that Lydia is going to have to do. She's going to have to give up the Izzies. Lydia's going to have to realize I can't have it all. If I really want a man who accepts me for who I am, I might have to give up something else that I want. Remember, I kept telling people, everybody out here is always walking around trying to find the person they want. Find their person, the person that makes them happy, the person that looks the way they want them to look, the person the way they want them to act, right? That's Lydia out here. And they want that same person to accept them as they are. Now you come up against a Milton. And now Lydia has a choice. If you really want to be comfortable in your own skin, if you really want a person to accept you as you are, if that really is your biggest problem, are you willing to go for that and accept that, but give up the fact that the guy standing in front of you may not have everything you would have always wanted? Which will you choose? Which will you choose? Will you choose the one that really is the best for you, your soul, your spirit? Or are you going to switch back and go for looks? This really is experiment, is Love is Blind. Because if Lydia was smart, and if Milton turns out to be what he's showing right now, she might should hang out with him. Yeah, he's younger. He's 24. But I think Milton has lived a bigger life than a lot of people. I think living abroad, even traveling abroad, I think matures people. Him living abroad in Japan, I think being tall, he's probably hung around older people. I think being advanced in education, he's older. So he's 24, and he does look 24. But he's not that much less mature than Lydia. Lydia's 30 and she acts like she's 24, to be honest with you. Some of her emotional levels are at like a 24-year-old. But my unpopular opinion with these two is they could work. But they only can work if Lydia stops chasing the Izzies. And I don't know if she can because she's bona fide crazy. I don't know if she would be with a Milton and then she would cheat on Milton with the Izzies of the world. That's another scenario. That she could use a Milton of the world, but then get her flesh fulfilled and cheat on Milton with the Izzies of the world. But I could see a scenario where they could work. I really could see one. I think Milton likes to joke. I think the fact that she's not so. A lot of times Milton tells these jokes that could be deemed insensitive. They really could. But I think Lydia, being such a tough skin and crazy person, she can laugh some of it off. Because some of the things that Milton says, I'm like, oh, I can't believe he's still talking about her age. I can't believe he said that to her. He can dig a little bit. Milton can throw some jabs. And Lydia, with her craziness, she can take some jabs. So my unpopular opinion was that this could work, that this could be the nerd meets the hot chick, and they both might can get what they want. They both, because I'm telling you, these little scenes they got going on in the shower scenes, they seem like they having a good time. And I have not heard no complaints from her yet. So it sounds like even though he's 24, I guess he handling business because she ain't had no complaints. And then I'm going to go on to my next unpopular opinion. And I know a lot of y'all been giving me hints down in the comments that wait and see JP. I'm going to change my mind about JP and Taylor. Remember, I was high on them in the beginning. I started seeing some red flags. I started seeing JP not talking at all. All the silence. I hear Taylor say that there was silence in the pods, but I guess she just talked through it. And now we have them here on the honeymoon. And I'm going to tell you right now, and every time I turn around, JP got on this red, white, and blue. I remember I told you I noticed it in the pods. It was the tennis shoes. Then it was the flag. Now here on this honeymoon or retreat or whatever you want to call it, he got on red, white, and blue shorts. Every day he wears them. Red, white, and blue. Wear red, white, and blue. What I would say when I know a person wears the same thing every day, if I were to see them on the street, I would say they're probably boring. They're boring. They don't like a lot of variety. It's like a person who wants to eat the same thing every day. They like to stick to one thing, do it. They're really, they're kind of boring in that way. They want to stick to it. Do the same thing over again. Routine is something that they could get comfortable with. I think JP, that's what the kind of relationship he wanted with Taylor. I don't think he ever was going to come in and, tear up the town. I don't think he was ever that person. I think he was that way in the pods. And I think that Taylor overlooked it because she just wanted to be chosen. And to be honest with you, here's going to be my unpopular opinion. Taylor's conversation is not that interesting. I like to talk here. I got my own YouTube channel, so I like to talk, and I probably wouldn't talk to Taylor. Her conversation is boring. All she talks about is, do you like me? Do you think I'm pretty? Do you want to sleep with me? Do you like my eyes? All her conversation is about constantly needing validation over and over again. Why don't you ask him why he wear these red and white blue shorts every single time? Where does that come from? Why don't you ask some deeper questions? Some questions that just don't require a yes or a no. Taylor don't even know how to have no conversation, maybe because she's used to talking to kindergartners all day. But let me tell you, Taylor's complaining to JP about his lack of conversation, but Taylor's conversation is whack. I'm going to say it. That's my unpopular opinion. Her conversation is whack. Her conversation is built for kindergartners, and that's the way she speaks. It's low-level conversation. And if I were with her on a vacation, I probably wouldn't say much to her either because her questions are boring and her conversations are boring. I don't want to have conversations just about the way you look. I don't want to have this conversation about the way I think about you. No, over and over again, ask some bigger conversations. Talk about something more. Be playful. Because you know what I noticed? I noticed once they met all the other couples and all the couples were on the beach and they all were playing and they were throwing those with cornhole. JP was getting into it. He was having fun. He was talking to other people in the group. When JP was on that ATV, he was having fun. He was outgoing. What was Taylor doing? Taylor was sitting over in the corner having a drink. Everybody else was throwing cornhole. She's mad because he's not over there talking to her and pumping her up and pumping up her ego because she's so insecure. She's insecure. She ain't got nothing to talk about. Now I know Taylor's problem out in the dating world. One is she says she's insecure probably because of her looks. Maybe she felt she didn't look good enough out in the world. But I'm gonna tell Taylor we got another problem. She don't have good conversation. She's not interesting. What is interesting about Taylor? So in one way, you can get on JP and say he's not talking. But in another way, you got to ask yourself, what's interesting to even talk about with Taylor? Maybe in the pods, Taylor seemed interesting because they were just getting to know each other. And maybe she was talking about herself the whole time. So it was interesting to JP to learn about her. But now that he's learned about her, I think he's realizing there's nothing deeper to her conversation. One is I do think JP is quiet. I do think JP is a man of routine. I don't think JP is going to talk a lot. But I'm going to tell you, my unpopular opinion is I'm not for sure it's all on JP. I'm really not. Right now, he's just looking at her. I heard Taylor tell him his breath stank. Taylor told JP his breath stank. I have no idea what's going on with the two of them. And when he was talking to Milton, and Milton said he thought maybe they were, being able to have some sex. And JP said, no, not really. And Milton said, well, I'm surprised about that. JP said, so am I. So JP is surprised by something too. I really want to hear what's keeping JP's mouth shut so much. Because I do think he's quiet by nature, but I do think he's being even more quiet. I think he's turned off by her. I'm thinking that JP has always been a quiet person. And most quiet people like women who like to talk because then the women can carry the conversation. And I think Taylor in the pods faked like she really could carry a conversation. And we come to find out she can't carry one. She can't carry one. She's all out of tricks. She teaches kindergartners and she really don't have to have that much conversation. And now that she has to have a conversation with an adult, she don't have nothing else to talk about. And JP is sitting over here saying, dang, I was going to rely upon you to talk more because that's the way you present in the pods. But now I realize you ain't got nothing to talk about. I think JP is a bit turned off too. They both turned off. This is unfortunate. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to work because hopefully Taylor can come up with some good conversation. Hopefully JP can step it up a little bit because he's going to have hopefully JP can step it up as well because he's going to have to fill in the gap with her because she ain't got shit to talk about. If he was dependent on her to carry a conversation, he going to be in trouble. He going to be in trouble. See, I probably could work with a person like JP who doesn't like to talk a lot because y'all can see I could talk a lot. A lot. But JP, nah, he can't come up with no conversations. He's boring. He wears the same thing every day. He probably eats the same thing every day. She should have picked up on that. She should have asked in the pods, why do you wear red, white, and blue every day? What else do you do the same every single day? And she would have realized he's probably a creature of habit. He's probably a creature of routines. And the reason why he likes being a firefighter is because it allows him to take risk. It allows him to be risky. That's where he lives his wild life in his job. But when he comes home, he wants to be safe and secure. When he's out on the job, a firefighter, taking risks, living wild, living on the edge, then maybe when he comes home, he wants to play it a little different. He says he loves to cook. Remember he said that to her? JP's domesticated. He probably cooks there at the firehouse with the men. Like he said, he likes the camaraderie. He likes the family of the firefighters. He's real family and community oriented. Taylor sounds, she wants to go out more, do more. JP would be comfortable sitting at home. You snuggle up with him on the couch. Y'all watching your favorite Netflix show. Wearing red, white, and blue together. Maybe eventually going out every once in a while doing a fun thing. Nice, simple life. Nice, simple life. Anyway, that's my unpopular opinion. Let me know what y'all think because I think I'm feeling different than a lot of people. Let me know what y'all think. Talk to you later. Bye.